In last week's video, we took you along as we moved my family from Colorado down to Florida.
We're moving to Florida, people. We're moving to Florida.
And in this week's video, we've got some big news and some big life changes to tell you all about.
I'm Tammy, and this is my husband Scott. We are two artists who, when faced with mounting health challenges, decided life's way too short. So we sold our home and most of our stuff to move into a home on wheels. And along with Gracie and Jasper, we've hit the road full-time in search of new landscapes, experiences, and friends. We'd love to have you join us as we navigate our way through this RV lifestyle. And until further notice, our mission is explore, create, and inspire.
Let's get going. Why are you taking so much time?
Thought I'd curl my hair today for the big event.
What's going on? What's his name?
His name is the state of Florida. It's time for us to embrace our new residency and get domiciled in Florida, say goodbye to Colorado, and get new driver's licenses. I'm gonna look a little bit tad older in this one compared to my last one, so I thought at least I should curl my hair, do a little something with myself. So we're off to get new driver's license and officially become Florida residents.
You got some explaining to do.
All right.
Time to get up. We gotta explain to people what in the world we're doing here in Florida. All right, so what time is it? We're burning daylight here. She needs to get up because we got some reckoning to do with y'all. We got to bring you up to date on some pretty significant news in our world, and think you're going to be interested in it. Anyway, I'm just going to sit down and enjoy my morning beverage while I wait for the queen. Oh, there she is.
I'm up. Alrighty. Well, it's time to spill the beans. After 3 years of full-time RV life, we decided it was time to move into phase 2 of Til Further Notice, and that is to buy an RV home-based property. And we landed in Florida.
Oh yeah, and you know the mooch stocking property we've been telling you about the last few videos? I don't know, it's really strange when you're doing the mooch stocking thing and nobody's there because it's like there's no rules. Fortunately, these people are the salt of the earth. They're the nicest folks you'd ever run across, so they're going to be fine with us no matter where we park it. Actually, we're mooching from ourselves because Tagalong is now sitting on our new home base property. 3 years later, we just parked on our own lot. It's kind of a good feeling.
And while we won't be technically full-time RVers in the near future, we will be definitely RVers for as long as we can move. So we're going to tell you more about that, why we made this decision, why now, and what it's going to look like. But first, do you want a breakfast smoothie?
Yep, we want to share with you guys what our experience has been so that maybe you might relate and it may even help you out if you're thinking about doing the same thing that we did. What are you putting in that smoothie?
I'm putting in frozen avocado chunks. Did you even know I put frozen avocado chunks in your smoothies?
Oh yeah, I knew that.
Mm-hmm. There you go, my love. I know it looks like something that should come out of you, not into you, but it's healthy and it tastes good, I promise.
Actually a good sign when they look the same going in and coming out.
Oh, man.
Why would we undo everything that we've spent the last 3 years, actually the last 4 years or 5 years, because there was a couple of years of planning before we ever pulled the trigger on going full time. I think we got some explaining to do.
We do, we gotta explain. You gotta explain to me this was his idea, actually.
The full-time RV or finding a home base?
No, the home base. He was a lot more ready than I was.
I'm a lot older than she is.
Yeah. Well, we're not undoing what we've done. I think we're actually enhancing what we've been doing. I know that this move is going to help us create an RV lifestyle that's more sustainable for us in the long term.
We've pretty much loved everything about being full-timers, but there's a handful of reasons that we decided that now is a prudent time, it's the right time for us to get situated with a home base.
Keep in mind that this is our story and our journey, and we know everyone's different. We're just sharing this with you because maybe it's good info, it could be relatable, and it could help someone else's thought process if these are things that they maybe haven't thought about too.
I think the number one reason that we felt that we needed, it was time to get a home base, is, you know, all of our doctors are in Colorado, including the animals. And how much time have we been spending in Colorado each year? Not much.
And while thus far we've managed to make it all happen on the road for the last 3 years, it's getting more difficult to manage. If you've been following our vlog for a while, you know that we both have chronic illnesses. Gracie has chronic illnesses, and we just lost our Jasper boy, and that was one of the things that really kind of got to me, was feeling so vulnerable with going through that process with him and not having our normal vets with us.
And why don't we just go back and spend more time in Colorado? It really has a lot to do with the weather.
We made it back to Colorado.
We sure did.
Yeah, we're tired of snow.
We're tired of snow. We're tired of winter.
Our bodies don't like it very much anymore.
You know, and then there's those times when the unexpected happens, like when we both got COVID the week of Jessica's wedding.
Yeah, that was terrible. That was a time when we were like, we're done full-time RVing, because it put us in such a bad situation. And
yeah, trying to move campsites when you're sick, and
we were so sick. And so yeah, that was an eye-opener for sure. But we kept at it for another, year.
And those things are still going to happen, because we still plan on doing extensive traveling via RV.
But that leads us into number 2, and that is having the home base kind of gives us a sense of security. So if the shit hits the fan. So colonoscopies are just a fact of life. Well, this will be the first time we go through that process living in an RV. And you know what comes before the colonoscopy? The prep. We always have a place to come home to. If the RV breaks down, not all of our eggs are in one basket. We have 2 baskets now. So it kind of gives us a sense of security, a peace of mind, where we've got some place to go to if things get tough. And they do get tough, trust us. It's still life. It's RV life, it's still life. It's gonna be nice to know that we've got a place to go home to.
Except in Florida, sometimes they blow away in hurricanes.
Yeah, I mean, that could happen too. We may be crazy, but that's okay. That's just how we roll. And to be honest, living on the road full time can be exhausting.
I mean, when you're a full-time RVer, it means you have to be a full-time reservation planner, and that's been Tammy's job.
Yeah, it can be a little stressful and taxing to always think about your next move. And sometimes it's hard to just get into the moment. I think that might be why when we travel, we like to stay in a place for a little longer. One, we love kind of immersing ourselves in the local culture and the food and finding all the cool places to go and meeting people. But 2, it gives us a chance to just breathe and relax, But always on the back of my mind is, I gotta plan the next thing. I gotta plan next year. I gotta plan the next 2 years. And it's getting a lot tougher in the winters to find places in the South to camp for a while.
And I think we've kind of determined that we like the feeling of familiarity for a fair portion of the year.
On one hand, it's freeing and liberating and exciting to kind of not know where you're gonna be. For us at this stage in our lives, we need a little more stability.
If you hear little hoof prints going around, that's Gracie.
Well, not hoofs, but yeah, her little nails are clicking on the floor.
Back when we came up with the idea that Till Further Notice, we decided that Explore, Create, and Inspire was going to be the balanced life that we were going to have. We'd spend a third doing each. And in the last 3 years, I don't know how many miles we've pulled a huge rig, you know, pulled our home on wheels probably, what, 15,000 miles or more, and seen a lot of territory, done a lot of exploring, done a lot of new things, but we've been light on the creativity space.
Especially Scott. So my creativity comes through making these YouTube videos for you. I replaced my art with the creativity that I get out of making YouTube videos. Babe, don't film this. This is the life of a YouTube editor right here. I need a neck traction device to keep the workflow going. But Scott hasn't been able to tap back into his creativity, so we've been really missing having a dedicated art studio again. And
which is something you really just can't do in a fifth wheel. I mean, we've tried it. Remember my studio space in the big solitude that we had, and I had custom light fixtures. You remember that? I have limited space right here in a window to paint, and I'm definitely wanting the light to work by, but I want to direct it right down onto my canvas. So here's my cardboard cutout and my duct tape, and you see how that
it's so much nicer.
That cuts the glare. I mean, the red, white, and blue, and it's very patriotic, but
and he's gone outside and painted a little bit, but he paints with oils for one, and it's stinky, and you don't want that in the RV.
Yeah.
And you know, it's not always the right weather or the right lighting, or we're moving, you know, it's just, it hasn't given him enough of his create side of things. And I'm kind of missing doing some of my own crafty things too. So we really want to bring that part of create back into our mission.
Yeah.
And so
and
that
having home base is going to allow us to do that.
Yeah, and that was one of the priorities on our checklist. All right, we're going to take a little break and turn the air back on for a little bit so that we can unswelter because we have to turn the air off in here to do these vlogs or you can't hear us. It's terrible.
Yeah, the director and the film editor won't allow that. Why did we pick Florida? When we were sitting in Oregon a couple of years ago, that's where I wanted to be, and there's no way you're going to get me down to Florida.
Yep. I had to convince Scott to come RV Florida, and he's actually the one who decided we were going to get our home base in Florida, not me. If we had all the money in the world, we'd have a place in Oregon too.
Didn't you make a checklist of things that we were going to need for a home base?
Yeah.
Why don't you read that?
Number one was affordability. We wanted to stay debt-free. So that didn't leave us a huge budget for a home base. And number two was we wanted to make sure we could have our RV with us on the property. So that really limited our options. And we learned that there's not a lot of places you're actually allowed to park your RV on your property, whether you're living in it or not. So something to keep in mind if you're on this search. Having lived in RV parks for the last 3 years, we were craving a little bit more space and privacy around us.
Everybody owns a blower. And in an RV park, you constantly have people blowing. He's gonna blow our property off.
We can't blow him because we don't have a blower that strong. So this is just a one-way street blow job. There is no way to talk about this without it sounding naughty. I'm sorry. But our neighbor's really kind and he's blowing our lot off.
Oh, I'm just keeping up with the Joneses. All right, are you ready for this?
It's noisy.
It's loud.
It can be noisy.
In fact, a lot of times we sit down to talk to you guys and
we have to stop.
Can't do it because somebody's out there blowing.
Yeah, doing something outside. So we wanted a little peace and quiet of our own little peace and quiet. And if you've been following our channel for a while, you know that what turns us on is nature, exploring, kayaking, biking, water activities, hiking, wildlife, photography. We needed to be somewhere where we were surrounded by those things. That way when we were here part of the year, we'd still be able to get out and be inspired and explore the area around us.
And last summer we were up in New England and we really kind of fell in love with the East Coast at Gloucester.
We loved Massachusetts.
It was a surprising deal.
Yeah.
And
we couldn't afford it, but we loved it.
The thing is that it didn't fit the affordability column. Or Maine did fit the affordability, but maybe the doctor problem that we have, maybe not so much, and the winter problem wouldn't go away. But I think one of the big things is we wanted to be somewhere that family, our kids and grandkids, are going to want to come see us.
Oh, I saw a manatee.
Did you see another one?
Yep, I saw one. I went like this splash.
Oh, really? And all of the kids and grandkids have now visited us here and they love it. They love the area, and so that just warms our hearts and know that we made the right decision. And as you know now, my parents and brother are here too. So it all worked out as it needed to, and that's just what happens in life. Things work out.
We've also established a preference for more rural living versus living in a city.
Absolutely. And we must be able to establish our residency and domicile, because we've looked at RV parks, park models, and the whole gambit. And there's very few RV parks here where you're actually allowed to live and establish domicile full time. Especially in the areas that we wanted to be. So that's something to consider if you're looking at this too.
And right at the top of the list is living an RV lifestyle means you want a home base that you can come and go from freely without having to worry about it.
From our home base, we have so much exploring a new territory, and we can just take little spontaneous impromptu trips to do things too. So I think it's gonna be the best of both worlds for us and balance our life out better, take some of the stress out, and yeah, it's gonna make our RV life last longer. And we're most certainly not trying to discourage anyone from taking that leap of faith and jumping into full-time RV life, because we have no regrets.
If you, like us, if you've got a window of opportunity and you have the means and the wherewithal to get out and do some full-time RV living, definitely do it. For us, that window of opportunity came after a whole bunch of surgeries for Tammy and maybe a surgery for me and a lot of life circumstances, including the necessity of helping family out. We just had this window of opportunity where we thought we could go for it.
So don't let your fears hold you back. We've met people from all walks of life with all kinds of challenges that they've had to overcome on the road, be it health, be it work, you name it, we've met them. And they're all making it work, and we did too. And because we took this leap of faith and simplified our life, stripped everything out, and got right down to the necessities, it really taught us what was important in life, and we're going to carry that moving forward with all of our other plans.
But you never really know how things are going to ebb and flow and change.
And I think that's when you came up with our name, Til Further Notice.
Yeah. Because
then that just let us roll with everything in life, and it's all till further notice. This is what we're doing. So hey, you never know what's going to happen next.
Yeah, there really is no such thing as permanent or forever.
Now let's talk about what it is we ended up buying for our home base.
I'm about to have heat stroke and another 20 minutes. We want to be fresh when we tell you about
the property. The property search.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I guess we're leaving you hanging. I'm sorry about that. They're gonna be mad. I guess it's better that you're mad than we're dead from heat stroke and Gracie's having a struggle bus over here, so we gotta get the air on. We'll be back. Stay tuned. Are you so hot, baby? I know. What are we doing without the air on?
Well, there we are. We're Floridified.
But I gotta say, they made me look pretty darn good. I mean, my hair looks really dark. Doesn't even look like me. Now I'm gonna get harassed when we go to the airport.